Hey guys, what's going on? I am Sam Crack, and today is a long overdue car of the day. Now, I've got a lot of emails and messages from you guys wondering where the car of the day has gone. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's just that we've been really busy with this right here and the other build that we're doing. And well, I want to know from you guys whether you want to see more car of the days or more build videos. And the way I want you to let me know, just either hit the like or dislike button. It only takes you guys a fraction of a second, but it lets me know a whole lot. Now, today's car of the day is a Yukon sent in by a viewer named Laith. It's at a Copart in Arizona, and you guys are not going to believe what this transformation looks like. Now, if you have a car that you want featured right here on the car of the day, it doesn't have to be at a salvage auction. It could be on Craigslist or it could be on another online ad. Just be sure to email it to me, samcrackauto@gmail.com. Put in the description box COTD. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. And here it is, a 2017 GMC Yukon XL. From the initial photo, looks like a really nice, newer Yukon, right? Let's take a look at the details really quick before we jump into the photos. It has a Salvage Arizona title. It's got 6,900 miles on it. This is not actual, something we can discuss further in a moment. They do say it runs and drives, and the primary damage is damage history, with secondary damage being a partial repair. We see the car is already at $22,700. It's in Tucson, Arizona, selling in the next few days. This $22,700 number will grow as the auction gets closer to the end. However, let's take a look at the photos and see if it's worth it or not. From this angle, the car looks great. It looks like a nice, newish, used Yukon. These cars are fairly expensive. The only thing that stands out to me really initially is that the car has an aftermarket wheel and tire, but I don't see anything that's throwing off a red flag. The lines even look pretty decent in most of these photos. Here from the backside, same thing. I don't see anything that is super concerning, at least not yet. We look in the interior, it even looks brand new. The carpets look immaculate. There are no signs of any airbags being deployed at all on the dashboard. The back seats look brand new as well. And even the engine bay looks darn near perfect. 6,983 miles on the odometer like we saw. And this is something that's kind of interesting. You see this very rarely, but it's on this listing where the seller lists the parts that were replaced on this car. It says that the hood, rims, fenders, grille, headlight, front bumper, passenger side airbag is good. Steering wheel airbag is good, but it says other airbags deployed in bold letters, which leads me to believe that maybe not all of the airbags were repaired. Let's go back up and look really quick. We don't see any lights on here on the dashboard. However, the car might not be on, so that's not telling us anything. Now, you know, if I were interested in this car, the first thing I would do is Google the VIN number, and I would see if there's any other auction photos. When I first did this, I was absolutely shocked. You see a lot of different Yukons pop up, but the only thing that could resemble it is this one right here. This one that is totally obliterated. Now, just by looking at this photo, we cannot confirm that this is the same car. And you can see here, the VIN number has a ... so it's not complete. If we match the first part of the VIN number, it's exactly the same, but we gotta make sure it is the same car. Let's click on this link and find out where it takes us. It takes us to a link on autobidmaster.com, which is the name of a broker that I don't personally use, but they have the VIN number of the car that's sold right here. They also blur out the images because this auction is over with, the original auction for this car. We're gonna take the VIN number here. It ends in 77065. Let's go back to our Copart listing and 77065. This is the same exact car as this. Now, scrolling through the rest of the photos, there are no other angles, just some of the ones from the current auction and other Yukons that just came up in the search results. However, I've shown you guys in the past a website, vehiclehistory.com. It's a place to get free reports. And once in a while, you'll get lucky and they'll show you the original auction photos. The first thing to note, though, on Vehicle History is the car was originally listed at Copart in the middle of 2017. It was again listed now in 2018. The listing, of course, we're seeing here. And so we know the car's been to Copart twice, meaning somebody bought it likely have repaired it into the state we see it now and sending it back to auction with the intentions of selling it again. If we go through the information, like I said, once in a while you'll get lucky, and here we go. These are the photos of that Yukon in its original state, and these are mind-boggling. Seeing this and seeing these, I wonder how someone even took the time to go through and repair this car. This car was clearly involved in something severe. Look at the hole in the windshield. Look at how crushed in that front end is. Look at the wheel and suspension in the driver front corner. Suspension is trashed in the rear. This is a disaster of a car. Again, look at the wheel is completely cracked, missing a piece on the driver's side as well. We do see that the rest of the passenger side fared pretty well, but otherwise it's hard to find any redeeming qualities in this car. The quarter panel on this car being pushed in that much, I don't even know how you would appropriately repair that without getting a new car, essentially. That's a very, very difficult repair. And where the rear passenger door goes into the frame, it's completely smashed in. Even the back window looks like it's shattered out of the car. Not to say that there's not a few good parts we can salvage. This interior is just as disastrous as the outside. The dashboard must have pushed forward a little bit. Why you see some of this trim just like hanging off. Either that or somebody went in and started disassembling it. But in cases when you have a really hard front end collision, you'll see that dashboard actually push forward and rip out of where it was screwed in place. It looks like pretty much every single airbag in this car went off. This front image is really kind of scary, just seeing that dashboard trim in pieces, seeing that windshield completely shattered. The last photo shows the gauge cluster with no power to it. Likely there were several electrical harnesses destroyed in this accident. If not, a lot of the times the first responders will cut the battery terminal to prevent from a fire happening or anything like that. This gauge cluster could have been affected. It looks okay in this photo, so it could be the original one that is still in the car now. This is a 2017, so it is pretty believable the car has around 7,000 miles on it. Here are two cars that I personally rebuilt. You guys should be fairly familiar with at this point. My Fiesta, obviously, and the Domino's DXP car. Now, while it's hard to compare these cars to that Chevy Yukon, especially because they're the opposite in size, these were both front-end collision cars, like the Yukon. Something we really don't think about is how much impact a front-end collision has on a car. Besides replacing all the body panels on this Ford, which seems pretty obvious, I also had to replace the water pump. After about 5 miles of driving, it let loose. I could only attribute that to the fatigue this car had from the accident. Also, one of the axle shafts. Now, when we move over to the Domino's DXP car, we pretty much replaced everything again on the front end of this car. But one of the strange things that occurred just the other day, after charging the AC system, I went ahead, turned the AC on in the car, and when I changed the direction of it, that right there, that white piece you see, popped out of the car. It literally just shot out from right underneath the dashboard onto the ground. And I can only attribute that happening to the fact that the car was in a front-end collision. The impact actually shook parts in the interior of the car. A lot of the times you'll see roofs on these cars wrinkled in because of a front-end collision. There are a lot of things that are underestimated when a car is in a front-end collision. Now, before you guys go ahead and start pointing fingers, wondering how this is even legal, please keep in mind this car is for sale at Copart, at a salvage auction. It's for sale at likely the most appropriate place it should be. Just because the car was repaired doesn't mean that it's worthless. It might be actually worth less than in its original state, although it was in pretty bad shape, so I can't imagine it's worth that much less. And to be honest with you, there are some decent repairs that show back up at auction. In this case, this car was so severely damaged, I can't imagine the type of repair that was performed on it. But without putting my hands on it, I don't want to go too far and judge the car. I'll leave that up to you guys in the comments section below. Now, if you have any other questions for me, be sure to send them to me. You can check out all my contact information in the description box below. Thanks a whole lot for watching, and I will catch you very soon.